That is a stunning piece of wood. I would have never thought in a million years that that would have ended up coming out. Don't even see it very well because it's so shiny, the light's reflecting off of it. But I took that bit. So this is the project. I'm calling it my prehistoric bowl, as you can see from the title. The reason being is because it's old, chunky and rough around the edges, just like me. So, sticky and horrible. So yeah, yeah, nothing else to say really. It's failed. No good. So I'll see you guys next week. Fresh new project, one that works. And take care. Speak to you soon, and bye for now.
Good afternoon all, hope you're all well. Thank you very much for coming and joining us for a Sunday Lifestyle Live. First one for a little while, missed last week due to illness and other issues, but we're here now. So this week is hashtag week. So as you all know, it's a hashtag that was drawn up by myself, Brian and Terry from DJ Turn, and Brian from Heartwood Turning. So this month's hashtag is a lidded box. Now again, as always, it's all down to your interpretation of a lidded box, how you want to design it, whether you want to colour it, whether you want to leave it natural, whether you want to put inlays in it, totally down to you. So what we're going to do is always give it 2 weeks, and then if you guys send me your photographs, or if you want to send me your photographs, I will do a montage, and then I think it works out about the 18th of this month.
We're not here.
The Sunday the 19th, which I'm not here. So we're going to have to go the following week, aren't we? The 26th.
Yep.
So we're going to run this one a little bit longer because I'll go away on the 17th for 10 days.
No? Oh, yeah, I suppose it is.
Yeah, 10 days. So I won't be back until the 24th. So we're going to run it through to the 26th on this month. Give you guys a little bit more chance to be inventive, should we say. So, lidded box. Can be as big or as small as you like. I'm going to do something that's about what? It's going to end up about 3.5, 4 inches across. So it's not going to be a huge piece. And I'm going to try. I've got some stencils here. I'm going to try and do a little bit of airbrushing on it. So we're going to have a bit of play with that as well. So let's go to the lathe. I'll get kitted up. While I'm getting kitted up, Nick will welcome you all in. So let's go to the lathe.
Good afternoon, all. So we have Sidgery Purposing, Wood Wizardry by Colin. Got the wrong teeth in this morning. You got mine?
No.
Jo Senior. She said she's not able to watch, but she's wishing everyone well. We Val's Teckle Turnings. Okay, so my mouse isn't working. There we go. Dr. Bob. Ruby Claire's on.
Hi, Ruby. How are you?
Also, Terry TJ Turner. Hope you're well. Chris Dodds is on. Brian with a Y. Barry's Wood Creations. Roy's the boy. Oh my goodness, I just read what Ruby's put. So, Dr. Bob said, was she going over for a picnic? And she said she's been banned for 5 years for teaching a turning class.
Oh my goodness.
And she now needs to get a special permit, which is going to cost her $2,000, I take it, to apply. It's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
Terry Bartlett, Plymouth Woodturners. We've also got Norman Greenwell. Todd at Glen Cove Woodworks. We also have Douglas Mungham. David J. Heath, the Guildford Carpenter. I Want to Make Stuff. Paul Lockwood, YV Woodshed. And again, if I've missed anyone, just give me a shout. Pete, Twister Trees, lost his van key.
Oh no, Pete.
Douglas said you're away with Terry. No, we're not. Paul Height and the Greasby Turner. Midnight Scroller is on. Not heard of that one before.
Hello, welcome.
William Kenny. I think I said Douglas.
Oh my god, handle's just come off my tailstock.
Off your what?
Handle's just come loose off my tailstock. Let's just tighten that up.
The Wood Dude's on. So I'm going back up from the bottom now because that's sort of... Roger Kent is on. I think I have said everybody. Like I said, if I have missed you. Oh, Gav Cedar Woodworks on. Right, I think Woodwork Learner, did I say him? Can't remember. Woodwork Learner's on. Colin Izzard. Right, I think I've said everybody.
You think you've said everybody? Well,
Yeah.
welcome everybody anyway.
Bit out of the loop at the minute.
Strange, isn't it? Because I've only been away 1 week, but you sort of lose the...
Right, also we've got Grandpa Jim the Woodturner's on. Yeah, only been away a week, goodness.
It's like you've done it for a month.
Colin Woodridge Colin's got a question. He said he's thinking of getting a rough and gouge, not sure of the size 1 inch or 1.5 inch.
Depends on what you're going to rough out. If you're only going to rough out small stuff, then I think these are inch, aren't they? The record power ones are only an inch.
Terry did suggest 1.5 inches because it'll last longer.
Yeah, it's true. This is about an inch.
Miss T's Woodturning is on as well.
Hi, Miss T.
Paul Finley Woodturning at home. Like I say now, I think unless anyone's come on at the bottom. Yes, you'll hear carrot chopping today, potato prep, cauliflower, broccoli, and parsnips. You'll be pleased to know, making up for
parsnips.
Not doing any for a few weeks.
Right, so this is a similar piece of wood that we had on Friday night. Oh, just quickly before we carry on. Massive thank you to each and every one of you guys who came over Friday night to interact with Phil Irons. I think it's got to be within the top 3, maybe even the top 2 of special guest airworms. Absolutely awesome night. There was so much knowledge passed on by Phil on Friday night. My head was buzzing, really was. So a massive thank you to each and everyone who came over. Hopefully we're going to try and get him on next year to talk a bit more about the finishing, because those finishes he got on his pieces were out of this world, and I would love to be able to get a finish like he's getting on his pieces. So like I say, once again, a massive thank you to you guys who came over. The wood, I think Terry and Phil said on Friday it was a piece of elder. Well, this is off the same branch, so it's going to be a piece of elder, Douglas.
I'll see something else as well.
So we're just going to quickly rough this out, and I'll get it round, and then we'll decide what we're going to do with it.
Oh, copper owl.
Right, Rob.
Woodturning's on as well.
Because there's a branch inclusion out there in that middle bit there. I'm going to get rid of that bit first, so we can get our tool rest a bit closer.
Woodwork Learner said, Steve, did you do a project on Friday?
Well, I did something. I wasn't happy with it, but I did something. But it was like I always say about the special guest airworm. It's more about the special guest than me.
Douglas said, thank you. Paul Lockwood said, Lidded Box is his favourite project. He has several CNC projects he's been working on for inserts.
Nice.
Sounds interesting. Doug Miller at Wood Spun Around is on.
Hi, Doug.
Where's the blue roll, babe?
In here, babe, next to the blemisher.
Right, Val's got a question.
Go for it.
She says, or he says, sorry.
She says.
Shouldn't make no assumptions. I've started resin pouring and loving it. I put wood in resin and there was bubbles. Should I have sealed first? I have shellac sealer, acrylic sealer, and finishing oils. Is any of them suitable? Tar.
Right, what I do.
Again or not?
No, what I do, Val, is I always seal all my timber. If I'm casting with unstabilized wood, which is obviously what you're doing, what I do is I give my timber a good couple of coats of thin down cellulose sand and sealer. Now what that does is it just withholds the air into the piece, and it doesn't let it release as many air bubbles. The other thing you can do is make sure your wood is really dry by putting it in the oven for a little bit. There are I'm not sure, I've never done it because my wife won't let me put it in the oven. But there are videos on YouTube that show you how to dry your timber out. So what you do is you dry it out, and as soon as you dry it out, you use it. Don't let it sit in there too long, because it will withdraw moisture again. But that will help reduce some of the air, but that won't stop all of it. You still need to seal it. But that's how I do mine. And if you've got a pressure pot, you really need, if you're getting a lot of air bubbles, if you're doing a lot of timber and resin, you really need a pressure pot. Right, so I want to try.
Answered your question.
So I want to try and leave some of this bark on this, because I do like to try and keep some of the natural features on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a tenon on the end here, so we can grab it in our chuck.
Not a fiver.
No, a tenner. So we can get it in our chuck, and then we can decide what we're actually going to do with it.
Shane Hurst is on.
Right, Shane.
She said, brilliant, thank you so much, Mr. Steve.
Anything to help. So always remember when you're doing your spindle work, you want a bit of speed on it. Run it a bit, obviously a lot faster than what you would if you was doing a bowl. Take a little bit more off of that. So we now get that in our chuck because we've got a tenon on the end there. Can't really see that, can you? Really? Let's move that camera over a little bit.
Brent Beecroft is on. Sorry, you told me to watch the chat. My eyes can't peel potatoes, watch the chat, and look at your camera. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. It's just you can't really see the. That's better. You can see the tenon on now. So we've got a tenon on the end there, which I'm now going to hold into the chuck.
Wood Dude says he's got a question. What is cheaper, a wife or a really good oven? Just asking for a friend.
I reckon if the oven's under 40 grand, I reckon the oven. Right, so we're just going to push our tail center back in there. We're going to push that tight up against it to make sure we've got it push flush into our chuck, and then tighten up the tailstock and the chuck. Not over tightening it because we don't want to rupture our fibres on the end there. So now we can get some sort of shape on what we're going to do. So I'm going to flatten off this top end with my parting tool to give me my rough size I'm going to have left over.
I was meant to ask if you wanted a bit of your cake, mate.
No, not at the moment. I'll after my tea.
Oh, make it sound like it's horrible.
Bit more speed, I think. That's better.
Chris Dodd said an oven. Wood Dude, tell your friend. Okay, sounds good. I'm going oven hunting. Pete said good wives are priceless. So I read it and thought, oh, that's really nice. And he put, less is cheap, but go for takeaways.
Alright, so this wood is not the best of wood. It's a bit, I don't know if it's a bit pucky or whether the wood's really soft, but as you can see, there's a bit of, I don't know if you can see that. Let's go on a camera that you might be able to
Do you know what Woodwork Learner said? Without a good wife to show you how it works, an oven is not much use.
see. So that's a bit spalted in there, so hopefully something that's going to come through, but it's not the best bit of wood in the world. I don't know if it's just because the wood's soft or whether it's starting to go. Like I said, Friday is a piece that was given to me a long time ago. So, right, so that's going to be our size. Let's go back on overhead. This is going to be our size of our box.
Michael McEwen's on.
Right, Michael.
Douglas Mungan went, cake. Yep, I made a Victoria sponge.
So that's 140 mil long. So we're going to bring our lid, maybe. Going to bring my lid. I'm going to bring the lid down about 50 mil, just in case we have to take a bit more for that because of that badness on the top there.
Steve.
What done?
Roy said what speed?
That is about 1800 RPM, I reckon, Roy. Number 9 on that centre belt is 1935. There you go.
22.
So I'm just going to put a parting tool in there just to give me my line where I'm going to part. Now I don't want to pile it off all the way at the moment because what I need to do is I need to make sure that I give myself something to grab. So obviously when I turn it, I've got something to grab it on. You can finish it inside your box, which I could do actually. Yeah, actually, let's do it that way. I'll finish it inside the box. So what I'm going to do is get the parting tool now, and I'm just going to take that down. This will be my interlocking piece that's going to go inside my box.
Which is the Barry that comes with you? Is that Barry's Wood Creations or Woodturning
Yes.
by Barry?
Barry's Wood Creations. Just take it down a little bit further because we might have to take a little bit more off for our shape. So take it down a little bit further.
Oh, Woodturning by Barry's on as well now. Good afternoon, Barry. Barry and Barry.
Barry and Barry.
I get confused.
So this is going to be our line where we're going to part it.
Oh, I'm looking forward to tea.
So before I go all the way through, I'm going to try and actually finish some of this top off.
Collins asked, what do you use to sharpen your Sorby parting tool?
The Pro Edge. I set it on the purse 35-60, so 60 degrees, 35 degrees.
Susie Swiss Turner's on.
Hi Susie, how are you? Hope
She
you're
said,
well.
what are you making and what is the wood?
Hashtag Alder, we think. Alder. Alder, is it Elder? Elder. So I'm just going to use a
like elderflower, like what's in that squash you
oh, that nice squashy board. So I'm just using a 10mm bowl gouge or quarter bowl gouge, whatever you want to call it, just to clean this up. And then we're going to try and get some sort of shape, pattern, style, whatever we want on our lid, on the top part, to make it a little bit easier for when we've pared it off.
Terry, I'm finally getting around to cooking that bit of lamb. It's been in my freezer.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually round this off to like a bit of a dome.
Not donut.
We're going to see what that bit of wood is like, depending on how high we get it.
Richard Phelan's on.
Right, Richard? So there's quite a bit of tear out in there, so let's see what we can do. Let's go on that lathe. You should be able to see better. This lathe maybe even better. That's better, isn't it? So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get, there's a bit of tear out in there, so we're trying to get rid of that. So I'm just going to do a couple of passes on there with this small quarter bowl gouge, and we'll see if we can remove that. If we can't remove it, we might have to go a bit lower. I'm doing nice soft passes, hopefully prevent that tear out. Actually feels a bit better. Let's see.
No, Douglas, just normal potatoes.
So we've still got a little bit there.
Roast potatoes.
The trouble is with spalting, it always gets a bit soft with the spalting. Let's just do one more, see what happens. Trying not to push on it so it causes tear out.
Doug Miller said, Steve, you need a tenon on that lid, don't you, so you can hollow the lid.
I wasn't going to hollow the lid, to be honest. I could use a glue block, but I wasn't actually going to hollow the lid, to be honest.
Yes. You spat that out.
Nearly what?
I nearly spat that drink out.
So just do some little gentle shear cuts. Not too hard because that will do tear out. We'll just gently finish this off with some gentle push cuts around this corner.
Woodturner Barry said, I've got you on the big screen today.
Oh, God help us. So what I was planning to do was, once I've shaped my lid and done my lid, I was planning just to sand it, part it, and that would be the lid finished. I know you can hold the inside out, but I wasn't going to, personally. So I think I'm going to sand that as that is. No, I'm not. I'm going to part that off. No, I'm going to sand that there now.
Paul Lockwood said, use the skew on a knife cut.
Yeah, I don't think the wood's that good, to be honest. I think that'll just... I don't know. I'm not as I'm not confident with the skew anyway. But I know what you're saying, Paul. But I'm hoping I can sand it out. Extraction on. Especially with spalted wood, make sure you always use your extraction with spalted wood. Actually, we use the inertia sander on that, I think. Because obviously the spalting is fungus, and you don't want to be breathing that in, that's for sure. So I'm going to use the 80 grit to get it to where I want to get it, and then we'll just finish it off with the other grits. Actually, it's not that bad now. So it's just a little bit on this edge here.
Pete. Roy's got you on a big screen as well. Good job you're facing on there, jeez.
Oh no, that would really throw off, wouldn't it?
Roy said, how did the pictures come out? You haven't even looked at them, have you?
I haven't had a chance to look at him yet, Roy. I'm hoping to get him on this afternoon, mate. But thank you very much.
Feeling that, are you, mate? Just.
Thank you very much for doing them for me, Roy. Oops.
Pete, I'm doing parsnips at the minute. I've got round the carrots. I had to find out what shape, whether they were buttons or circles.
Right, so as you can see, that's actually not sanding up too bad. So I'm not going to sand and actually I am going to sand and seal that because that'll give that a chance to soak in. And because on here I want to put a little bit of shape in the middle of this, sort of just bow it in a little tiny bit. That's what I'm hoping to do. So I'm just going to put a little bit of sand and sealer on that. And with it being a rough sanded, the grain is open a bit more, so the sand and sealer should soak into it a little bit better. Because obviously the finer you sand it, the closer the grain is sanded together. So hopefully that'll seal up nice. Right, so now I'm going to part that, move it out of the way, turn that off. I'm going to take that lid off with our thin parting tool, and I'm doing a relief cut. What I'm doing with this is I'm doing my cut, and then underneath, yeah, and underneath a relief cut. so it's not grabbing my blade. So you're doing your cut in two different parts.
Has anyone seen Pete's van key? He's lost his van key.
I'll tell you where it is, Peter. It's the last place you left it. That's where it is. I bet it's still in the van, though, Pete.
Right. Wood Dude said he didn't. I had no idea they made 80 grit. Never used the stuff. Wood Dude said that. William Rose Creates is on.
Hi, William. How you doing?
Grandpa Jim said, I leave the ridge on top and bottom before I part the lid off to have a starting point to hollow. Roy said, very clear pictures on the big screen. Looks Ultra HD.
Ultra HD. Not just HD, Ultra.
Douglas said, house brick's the best to sand with 40 grit.
Right, so you can see that's a bit pucky in the middle there.
Roy said, overhead.
I've just, yeah, a bit late now.
Change camera, ain't you?
Yeah. So that's a bit pucky in there. So what we're going to do now is I've just soaked the bottom part of that lid in sand and sealer, so that'll soak in and harden up a little bit. So now we need to mark out where our lid's going to go. So let's put you on overhead. So that lip is 79mm. So let's get a pencil and find our centre, which is going to be that bit about there somewhere. So
Pete said, nope, it's not an ignition where he usually leaves it.
So we're going to go 36mm to start with. And then what we'll do is we just gradually work out until we find it. So a bit of speed. I don't know if it's normal for Elder, whether that goes like this or I don't know.
Is that the first time you've used it? Dave?
Sorry?
Is that the first time you used it?
No, I did a bit Friday night, but like I say, it's a bit I had given to me a long time ago, and yeah, I found it under the bench, and I thought, well, that's worth having a go with. So we're just going to gently open that up until we get a nice snug fit in there.
Yeah, because you ain't got a lot of wood, hey, mate?
No, I'm getting short.
He found it. It's in London.
It's in London. Right, so we're getting there. Just want maybe another mil off it, but I'm just going to keep nibbling at it until I get it where I want to be. Trouble is, you can take a little bit more off, but you can't put it back on very easily. Shame about this wood being a bit punky because it's a nice piece of wood. Oh, it's very close, very, very, very close. This is where you normally take a little bit too much off now and make it loose. there's our lid. Still lines up with our, well, not quite, because we've obviously took that bit out, but so we're now going to holler this out. So for this, I'm going to be starting off with the Simon Hope. I think that's 8mm
He
hollower.
thinks it's elder, Richard.
Elder. Is that Dad? No, it
No.
won't be Dad, because he's playing bowls, isn't he? Right, so we're going to
In the
rough it
rain.
out. Yeah,
It's hardcore, isn't he?
playing county, isn't he? So you could drill this out if you wanted to. With a forcing a bit first, or drill down the centre first. It's up to you. We're trying to keep our tool rest as close as we can, but we don't want too much overhanging over our end. We want more handle than we do. Well, more handle sticking over than what we've got tool over the front for the rest. A little bit below that tool rest. And the good thing about the Simon Hope hollowing tools, or hollower like this, is the actual cutting bit is a cutting piece, not a scraping piece. Some carbides are actually scraping tools, not cutting tools, where the Simon Hope actually is a cutting tool.
Wood Dude said, can he have English subtitles as he can't hear anything while he's turning there?
You can't hear what he's saying.
Colin said, your Hope tool's awesome.
Yeah, Hope tools are good.
Woodwork Learner said, Steve, is that about a 45-degree cut to the wall?
Say again.
Woodwork Learner said, is that about a 45-degree cut to the wall?
The cut. I don't understand what he means.
No, I don't.
If you mean the cutter is set at an angle. The actual cutter is set at an angle, as you can see. If that's what you mean, Andy.
Eric's popped in, but he can't stay.
Hi, Eric. Is that Eric Winkler?
Yep. He said, what tool do you use for hollowing out an 8-inch deep bars?
Well, I'm always doing one. I would use the Simon Hope, because that's what I've got.
Yeah, which one?
The deep hollower. I've got one here. That's I'll show you in a second. That fits onto a standard handle. So let's go on back on camera. So this is the Simon Hope. This is the Simon Hope hollower with a 10mm carbide on the top, and that will fit in the small, I believe it's a small, yeah, the small or the medium handle. So obviously the Hope handles come in different lengths, so you can have a handle that long on it, or you can have a handle that long on it. And like we always say, it's for every inch over the tool rest, you need 4 inches behind the tool rest. So if you're going in 8 inches, you're going to need a long handle to give you that extra leverage. But that's what I would use if I was going deep, personally. I know there's other stuff on the market that you can use, but that's what I've got, so that's what I would use. That's the good thing about the Hope tools, that they're all universal. You mean you only need 2, maybe 3 handles, and you've got enough. You've got enough handles to do every single thing that Hope produces. So, which is good. Oh, wrong camera. That one was on.
Woodwork learner per angle to present the cutter, yes. And TJ
Yeah.
said yes. Brian's on. Hi, Brian.
Hi, Brian.
Mr. G's Woodturning's on as well.
Good afternoon.
Oh, bother. And Colin said he couldn't use that longer handle in his shed.
Who?
Colin.
Have to stand outside the door, Colin.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, how deep do we want to go? Let's have a look, see how deep that is. Because I'm going to actually take a bit off the bottom of this pot, so it's not going to be that big. So we're down to about there. So we'll perhaps just start cleaning it up now. I'm just doing some nice little gentle passes now, just to really clean up a little bit. So I'm going to try and leave a little bit of a curve in the bottom of that, rather than doing a square transaction, or transition, should I say, not transaction. Right, so I'm happy with that. We'll just blow that out there. Get that sanded up inside. Just make sure our lid fits properly. Yep, lid fits. So we'll just get that sanded up. Sand that from 100 grit up to 240.
Oh, sugar, I haven't been looking at the tap. Right, so rich instincts are there. Oh, yeah, I think Steve has spot made.
So I'm not going to sand anywhere where my lid's going to fit. Because if I do that, I'm just going to make it a looser fit, and I don't want to do that.
Michelle Higgins is on.
Hi, Michelle.
Pete said, as he's doing holiday cover for The Hobbit tomorrow, am I supposed to do a turn A box?
If you want to, Pete. Oops.
Terry said, if you want to take part in hashtag week, Pete, then yes. Roy said, another holiday, Terry?
So I just want to get a bit more shape on that, so I'm not going to do the outside for that.
Pete said when he does the 12-inch plus hollow, and he has to reverse the headstock and open the door so the handle can be outside.
Last one, 240, if I can find it.
Brian said, are we doing lidded boxes this week then?
We are, Brian. Right, so that's down up to 240. So now we're going to get a little bit of shape. Because there's quite thickness on the wall there, I've got enough to give me a little bit of shape on the outside. I don't want nothing major, I just want a little bit of a nipping in the middle there a little bit. So we'll just use the 10mm bowl gouge just to take that down a little tiny bit. So I'm just going to put a little bit of take a little bit out of the centre.
Pete's put his link in for tomorrow. Well done. The wood dude said, I need to go eat now, as even master wood turners need subsistence from time to time. Back later.
See you later, mate. Thanks for coming over, Stephen.
Miss T says, I like the way Simon Hope 8mm hollow works. It seems to work as well as the more expensive ones.
It does. Works really easy. You don't have to put any effort at all into it. It works quite well. Right, she's just got a little bit of curve in the middle there. Just got rid of that, you know, the bulkiness of it. We've still got quite a bit of meat there. So we're just going to sand that up now. If I can find... What the hell have I done with that?
We lost.
Oh, there it is. Nursery sander. I put it down. I couldn't see it. Right, so we're just going to sand that up. Just a little bit more on that edge.
You like cabbage, don't you?
Yeah.
We'll have a little bit with our tea. Give the rest to the rabbits. I eat more veg than what you do.
Alright, so it's got rid of all that nastiness around the top there.
Pete said, I was planning a bud vase. Wonder if I can combine it with a lidded box.
A lidded bed vase.
Brian said, if I've made a box with a lid that was a nice fit when made and a week later the lid is tight, is it likely because the lid has expanded or the box has shrunk?
Depends if the wood was green or not, doesn't it? If the wood was green, I should imagine the base has shrunk. Alright, so I'm going to sand this up to 400. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little tiny undercut on the lid. Oops. Just a little tiny undercut on the lid so that the actual lid hits only on the front edge. That should look like we've got a nice snug fit. Like that. So the lid is a little bit big now, so we need to just turn that down to match our piece. So I
Gary
need
glasses on.
right, Gary. So I need a little block of wood to go between there and there.
Right, Douglas said, all I'm trying to do a vase 10 to 12 inch deep with normal tools. Any ideas how?
Normal tools.
Chat.
So I'm just going to put a little block of wood on there, just so that pushes that up.
Brian's put his link in as well.
Who's that?
Brian Hartwood.
So we're just going to trim that to suit our vase.
the matter?
The lid is creaking as it's slowing down. Line up where it's got to go, I suppose, would be a better idea. So somewhere there. Right. So we need to just finish that off. Like that. So we can sand that now. So we get a nice match.
They're saying hashtag Brian Turner resin box.
Actually, I was going to turn a resin box today and I thought no.
Couldn't bother to clear all that mess up, could you?
Well, that was part of it.
So very good.
Right, so let's sand that up to the next grip.
Adam, I love wood turners.
Hi, Adam.
That sounds like a smoker's cop, that do you? Right, what else have I got to do? Got something this red cabbage. Oh, Brian ain't got no resin blanks.
Oh,
You won't be able to get one there for tomorrow, will you?
send it by carrier pigeon.
Ooh, ooh.
He's got an egg he could turn. He could turn that into a box. So I'm going to sand this up to 400 grit. Oh dear. So last one, 400. Oops. Right. So that's up to 400 grit. So we're going to sand and seal that now. Clean my glasses because I can't see a blooming thing. That's better. So I'm going to give this a good soaking of sand and sealer.
Brian said he thinks he might try a finial box with an elegant finial.
Finial box with an elegant finial. I hate finials. So
Amy's on. Hi, Amy.
Hi Amy, how are you? So we're just going to burnish that with some dust, just to dry that sand and sealer off. I was going to put some little bits of colour on the side of this, but I quite actually like the wood as it is, so I'm not going to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Yorkshire grit that. To get it nice and smooth. Because I was going to do some little templates on the side and just dust them in with colour, but that wood is too nice to colour. So what I'm going to do is Yorkshire grit it and then wax it.
Amy put plodding along, Steve. Yeah,
Hey?
we're all a bit like that. Plodding along.
Who's that?
Amy.
Yeah, I think we're all going through that phase at the moment, Amy. Everything seems an effort. So I wonder if we can get away. I can just gently sand that top. That's quite a tight fit in. Actually, in the.
Brian said, "We know you do, Steve. More practice required next month. Hashtag finial week."
Ah, no.
Resin, it should be. Hey.
No, because people can't. Not everybody can afford the resin.
I know. I'm just saying. I was joking. God, gee.
Ba-dum-dum. Right, so that's just gently sanded. We sanded and sealed it earlier, so we can just put some grit on that and grit it. We're going to speed the lathe up a little bit.
Brian said, "Resin finial. I have a blank for that."
Right, so just gently speed that up a little bit.
Pete's staring now. Brian's planning to turn a resin box with a threaded lid, 12-inch finial, and embellish and wax.
Right, just buff that off.
Brian said, "What? Embellish and wax?"
Brian loves embellishing wax.
Woodwork Learner said captive rings on finial too.
It's a nice bit of wood, that is. Excuse me. Right, so final finish. Let's have a bit of microcrystalline wax on it. So we're going to give it a couple of coats of this. Good thing with microcrystalline is that it's not so prone to fingerprints. So if it's going to get handled and touched and poked and prodded, then this will be better. We're going to work that in really well. We're going to get a clean bit of cloth. Gently buff that up. Don't need to apply any pressure whatsoever. We're just buffing up the wax. So they're going to give that a second coat. This time I'm going to buff it off with a piece of chestnut safety cloth.
Amy said, has anyone made a wooden bell before?
No.
Gary said he has, but he couldn't get it to ding-a-ling. So Pete said all his van keys are 140 miles away, so he can't go shopping. Better tidy up the workshop this afternoon before Brian sees it on Monday.
Right, so we just need to seal the inside of this really. Let's just blow all the muck out of there. Put a bit of sand and sealer in there. I'm not going to do anything other than sand and seal that in there. I'm not going to wax it or anything
Brent's
else.
got to go.
See you later, Brent. Thanks for coming over. So like I say, I'm not going to do anything other than sand and seal it in there. And just burnish it off with some shavings. Just like that. So what we've got to do now is part it. So we need to put a little bit on that edge there. Put around the rim of the lid. Paintbrush might have been better rather than trying to use paper towel.
That's nice, that is like that.
Happy birthday, babe.
Kiss my butt. Right, had an anniversary yet, so I suppose it could be that.
You said you didn't want nothing for your anniversary.
I wanted flowers.
I bought you flowers Christmas time. So needy. Just so needy.
Yep, too right.
Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put that back
Terry's
on
Wood
there.
Creations has got to go. Take care, mate.
See you later, mate.
Said he'll see you Wednesday.
All right, mate. So I'm just going to put that on there. I'm just going to repolish that bit because I just obviously just touched that with some sand and sealer. So just repolish that, mate. Safety cloth. Just gently buff that in.
Right, Weaval's Tickle Turner's got a question. Other than pressure pot and Blawin store, is there any other use to having an airline?
Pump your tyres up on your car. Use an air nail gun. Use a spray gun. If you're going to get into colouring airbrush, don't know. I wouldn't be without my airline. That's for sure. I use it so
Pump
much.
up tyres.
I use my airline all the time. Right, so it's just brother. Right, so we've got to part this now.
Woodwork Learner said, which year was that, Steve?
Which year was what?
You bought me flowers.
Uh,
Pete said, hashtag flowers for Nikki. Douglas, hashtag flowers for Nikki. Brian,
uh,
hashtag flowers for Nikki.
here we
I
all
want to
go.
make stuff, hashtag flowers for Nikki. Brian's put in big capital letters, get the lovely woman some flowers. Bought misery guts.
Well, she didn't even take my razor back yesterday. You know what I mean?
Oh, come on, that wasn't a good day yesterday. Not a good day at all. So,
Right, so to part this, I'm putting put it on camera. You can see it be good. I'm putting an undercut on it, and I'm going between the chuck jaws and the bottom of the piece because there's quite a bit of meat on the bottom.
we could tell them the story about the razor. That you was adamant that you have Wilkinson sword, and I said, no, I'm sure you have Gillette. No, Gillette brings me out in a rash. Don't have Gillette. Don't get on with it. Brings me out in a rash. Got home. What do you use, Steve?
Gillette.
You should trust me. But no. What you knew best? Now he's got to take the Wilkinson one back and get a Gillette.
The best the man can get, apparently. So let's clean the bottom of that off. Just sand it.
Oh, we weren't too bad, Terry. I think we ended up being in the hospital about 3 hours, so it wasn't too bad. Went and got some bits, and then went to my mum's and had a burger and a chill out with the family, which was nice.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed you though.
No, you're not. You said I'm going before Terry gets here.
I was waiting, hoping he was going to be there, but he didn't.
That ain't what you told me.
You're such a whatever.
Right, let's get that sanded up. Go out the way. I say, because it's a bit, not the best bit of wood. We've got a little bit of tear out in there, so I'll just clean it up with a bit of sanding. You could reverse. I could reverse it on the mount on the chuck, I suppose, and just go with a small bowl gouge, but we use a house brick instead.
She's not too bad, Terry. She's in a little bit of pain, but she's all right. Work learner said, grow a beard. You can't go wrong then.
No.
Brian said, first sign of old age, that is, Nikki. Getting forgetful. What, him? Not me.
She is getting forgetful, Brian. I agree.
Roy said, that was lucky, Steve. The tenon broke.
Tenon broke. I mean, oh, the half. Even when I took it out, yeah. But the jaws were holding it together, weren't they? I mean,
Brian said, hold on a minute, I got told off for doing that.
not by me, Brian. Alright, so it's got the grades. It's got rid of all the nasty bits. So let's get up the grades. Only going to go to about 240. I think I need to re-glue that pad back on its sponge. So last one. $240. That's up to 240. I'm just going to put some sand and sealer on there. Rub that around a little bit.
Susie, Swiss Woodturner's got to go.
See that, Susie? Thanks for coming over.
Ward Wilson is on from the west coast of Arizona.
Hi, Ward, how are you?
Mr. G's Woodturner said, where have you found the best place to buy the 50mm sanding discs?
I get mine from either Martin, the Woodturning shop, or Simon Hope. That's where I get mine from. You can get them from eBay, but they don't last. They're cheap and nasty, and you always get loads of sizes you don't really need. So I always just buy them from them. They're a little bit more expensive, but if you buy 2 or 3 boxes at once, then you'll get, if you buy enough so you get your free shipping, it's not too bad. Right, so let's have a look at this then. Right, so pot on there. Yeah, boy, that's going to sit level on there, isn't it? Didn't think that through very well, so that's better. Put it that way. Right, so tailstock. So there we go, just a little lidded box. Like I say, it's all about your interpretation. Left some of the natural bark on there, which is always nice. Nice piece of spalted. Like I say, it's a shame it's a bit soft in places, but it is what it is. So lid's a bit rough. I might just sand that down, but that's quite soft. I've put 2 or 3 coats of sand and sealer in there. I might let that harden off and then just clean up a little bit in there. Might remount that and then just turn that out, hollow that out a little bit. But yeah, nice little lidded box with a piece of spalted alder. I think we said it was, didn't we?
Elder.
Elder. That's me as older.
Mm.
So yeah, like I say, it's your interpretation of a lidded box. You can do it in resin, you can do it in plastic, you can do it in wood, doing whatever you like. Like I say, it's all about your interpretation of it. And I will do another one to put up on the montage of everybody else's. Bit more colourful, bit more bit more flash. But it'd be interesting to see what you guys come up with.
Weaval says, really nice. Terry says, nice one, Steve. Or ice one.
Nice one.
Woodwork Learner, very nice, Steve. Amy, nice work. Colin said, love it. Mr. G's, very nice, well done. Ryan said, has anyone heard from Ben lately? Douglas Munger, very good, Steve, and the work looks nice as well. William Kenny, looks great, Steve. Chris Dodd's good one. Brian TJ says older.
Older.
Was the boy said he's been posted on Facebook.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few posts from Ben on Facebook the last few days.
Dude, okay, I'm back just in time to see the end result. Nice one, Steve. Gary says looks good, Steve.
So yeah, nice little bit. That's not bad. Let's see what the finish height was. Tape measure. Is there one in there? Is there a tape measure in here?
Nope.
Yes, there is. You lied.
Right, I'm going to have a go. Is that all right?
I suppose.
Right, take care, everybody, and see you again soon. Bye.
Right, so it ended up being 120mm high by 95mm across. So not massive. But, so yeah, right. So let's just bring me back. No, don't do it, don't do it. Right, so your interpretation, like I say, nice little box. I will clean up. I'll give the sand and seal a chance to harden off, and I will just clean up because that is a bit rough. But other than that, nice fitted lid, nice and tight. So yeah, it's good. I like the shape. Something new. You just got that little bit of a curve in the side there, just to give it a bit of character, really, rather than just square edged. But yeah, I enjoyed doing that. It's been nice. It's been a long while since I did a lidded box. So massive thank you to you guys coming over. I'm going to go now. So this will run through till the 26th of this month because I'm away from the 17th to the 24th, and obviously while I'm away will fall in the time when this is due to be announced, or not announced but shown. So plenty of time, 3 weeks to get into the workshop, make yourself a lidded box. As always, if you want to send me the photographs, then send me them via email, because if you send a messenger, I can't always get a good picture on them, and then I'm not going to put up rubbish pictures because it's not going to justify your work. So if you want to send some pictures for the montage, then please send them to me on skcrafts@btinternet.com. And then whatever photographs I get, I will do a montage for the 26th, and then obviously, as always, I will then stick up on YouTube so the whole world can see the community's work. And it's all about bringing the community together, taking part, and let's do something together as a community. It's a good community. Unfortunately, there are a few bad apples in it, like any community, and there are a few people who there are a few people within the community who I feel are not the safest. We all have things fly off. We all have catches, but it's knowing why you had the catch, why the things have come off, and learning from their mistakes. And the thing that myself and a lot of the people who do the lives and the videos, the last thing we want is anybody to get hurt through something that we've shown you guys. So be safe and be careful. And like I say, there are a few bad apples, but the community is a good community. I am grateful for this community, really am. This community has given me a lot, and I hope in the future that I can give something back, or some of it back that I've got out of it. So other than that, have a great weekend. What's left is Jubilee weekend. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've had a great weekend anyway in the UK. Bit grotty today, absolutely pouring down the rain. Bit grotty here today, but I'm going to have the whole day in the workshop. Yeah. So hopefully a video from me for Wednesday. So if I can get it done, then that'll be out for me for Wednesday. But other than that, I will most probably see you in one of the guys' lives. Don't forget you've got Pete covering for Temporary Terry tomorrow lunchtime live. You got Brian on Monday night. I don't know who's on in the week because they always change. The only person I know is on. I know Wayne's on a Wednesday evening and a Friday lunchtime. That's the only ones I know who's on because they all keep changing other than that. So other than that, have a great weekend. I'm most probably catching you live. Most probably catching someone else's live. So have a great weekend. Take care. Speak to you soon. And bye for now. Bye.
That's all, folks.